I'm Farah Duro, and you're listening to the PCOS Revolution podcast. Well, welcome back, everyone, to the PCOS Revolution podcast. Today, we have a special treat. We have our guest, LaNae Muench. She's actually going to talk about essential oils and PCOS. And we're going to talk about what oils would be best for certain types of hormonal imbalances and what could be helpful for cycle regulation, mood swings, and acne, and also weight loss. So I'm so excited to have you here, LaNae. Welcome.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here. I love to talk essential oils. So you might have to curb my enthusiasm a little bit. So I'd love to get started.
You're on fire. I'm never going to curb your enthusiasm. I love it. And tell us a little bit about how you were introduced to essential oils and what made you want to really work with them.
So it's a long story, but to kind of summarize, I was able to experience a young mother nursing a baby, 4th of July, about 4 years ago, talking about how essential oils had changed her family's life the winter before. And I was like, wow, here's this mother, obviously, into natural. Long story, she turned out to be related to someone I grew up with in my small town in Wisconsin. I visited her when I was there in Wisconsin. I got oils and I've never looked back. I started remaking over my daughter's medicine cabinet. She made it through her winter at daycare a few months later with no antibiotics. And I became a believer. So that's really how I got into it, was for my daughter, who was about 2.5 at the time, to try and incorporate natural products into our life, replacing some of the chemicals. And it's expanded from there. I now use oils every day on myself to help with moods and hormones, and I use them topically, I ingest them, and I put them in the diffuser. So I cannot go a day without my oils now.
That's awesome. And you, I've known you for several years. You've, come into the office, in our office, and you would blow my mind with your knowledge of the essential oils that you're using. I'm like, what? I didn't know you could use that for that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So I know that you have your favorites that you are like your go-to kit that you use during cold and flu season. And right now, everybody has this crud around us. So I know you used to kind of do a blend that you talk about where you'd put it on the bottom of your daughter's feet, all that. So can you share a little bit about what you use for flu season first, and then we'll get into the fun hormonal stuff too.
Right, exactly. So there's a blend that has got some clove and some cinnamon and orange. I use Doterra, and they have a blend specifically called On Guard. And really, my daughter does not leave the house without it. And we also put it on her feet before she goes to bed. I won't say that it, keeps her completely healthy, but it reduces the intensity of her illness. And we'll diffuse it in the house when we start to get a cough. The cinnamon and the orange and the clove, and it smells really yummy. And it really helps. And she knows now, she's 6.5, and it's just part of her daily routine. And that's what she uses every day and has used every day now for 4 years. And I've really seen a difference with all of our family's health using this product. So I swear by that. And then when we do get something, we treat the symptoms that come. And literally in my home, I no longer have Tylenol or Motrin for her. We basically, if the oils don't work, which they really do, but if the fever is really high or something, I have to go and buy it. I no longer have that in my medicine cabinet. We just rely on the oils.
And she used to get a lot of fevers too, right? So that's why you kind of researched all this, right?
Right, exactly. Because the first daycare she was at, she was on antibiotics and had croup and had all of these things, and a little body, before 2, getting all that in her system. And her system, like I said, now we use the oils, and it smells good. It's easy. It's a really peaceful process to keep us healthy and to fight anything that does come into the house, which I love.
Awesome. And they have, I think it's known as Thieves Blend, right? Or Thieves Oil or something.
Right. So Young Living uses
Mhm.
thieves, and it's just there are the attributes in those oils help. Like cinnamon is antiviral, and it just is great to, like, if you were to take an oil out that you wanted to have to fight something, that I would really recommend cinnamon, because cinnamon is anti so many stuff, and it smells good, and you can ingest it, you can apply it, you can ingest it from certain companies. I wouldn't say if you went to, a store and just bought it off the shelves, I don't know that I would ingest it. But there are companies that do, I trust, that I would recommend and do, say you can ingest.
Okay, because it has to be medical grade or food grade. What is the actual classification of the oil to ingest?
So, what I rely on is, if it has an FDA supplemental facts on it, um, and there is like the therapeutic grade oil
Hmm.
that you can look for on the bottle. So if it has the FDA supplemental facts, I would, that would definitely be something you could ingest. Without it, I don't know that I would ingest it, because you only want to put in your body or even on your body or in the air something that it has been tested and it is pure, um, and will not cause other problems because you've used something that isn't as good of quality.
Okay, so the doTERRA and Young Living oils have this label on them. Is that right? Or
I'm not sure on Young Living because I don't use it, but I
Mhm.
do know they are a company that is, I won't say as equal as doTERRA, but they offer the purity standards as well. And there is a third party now that does the testing. And I can't think of the name of it, but they do the testing and will advise consumers what is in the oil. Specifically, I'll speak to doTERRA. They have lot numbers and expiration dates on the bottom of every one of their bottles, and you can go to this third-party testing, put in the lot number, and you can see exactly what's in that bottle of oil that you have, provided you've bought it from, a reputable and from the company directly. If you get it off of Amazon or you get it someplace else, I don't know that I would trust it as much. But if you get it directly from the source and you use the lot number, I would have I have complete confidence in what they're reporting and what they're telling you is in the bottle.
Very cool. Okay. So important to read the labels. And then let's jump in a little bit to our favorite blends for hormonal imbalances, because I know in our clinic with our acupuncture treatment, essential oils are just kind of part of our treatment. And we like to use lavender because that seems like the universal scent that everybody loves. Just about everybody likes lavender. So what makes lavender one of those really, I don't know, like palatable essential oils that are part of just a lot of different types of strategies for hormonal balance?
Well, I think lavender has such a popularity because it is so relaxing, and lavender scents so many things. And, literally, you can go and find a lavender plant and you can smell it, and it smells good, and it's a pretty color, and it's all of those things. But the chemical makeup of what a lavender plant and what it diffuses, it is just naturally calming to the senses. Your brain reads it and just it affects the body and it does calm down. There is science with why essential oils work, and um, lavender's chemical constitute just does that. And like I said, lavender can be found in everything, candles, and everyone recognizes it. Another oil that people think of probably a lot is peppermint, um, because again, it's like the peppermint candy, and they know peppermint helps like with stomach aches, and it can even help with headache tension. Those are probably the two most thought of oils when people think of essential oils. Are probably those two, just because they can be found in so many things, and aren't scary or unknown, and they're just in everyday use. I would love that more oils have the reputation to be able to help with different things. When you think about women's hormones, um, there's another flower, geranium, that, believe it or not, is very good at helping regulate cycles and is really good for women to just use, because it, affects you from the cellular level, and it really helps bring things into balance. Another flower that's popular is lang lang. This is actually an oil that's coined the oil of fun and laughter, and it smells and it just kind of lightens the mood. So when people can think about things they find in nature, nature is amazing. And, those two, along with lavender, while they're calming, they do all those other things. And now, so you've got like the flowers that do a lot of stuff, and you can, go to a nursery, you can go to your garden, you can have those plants there and they will help. There is clary sage, which is also really good. But this has a contradiction. You should not use it during pregnancy because it can actually affect like uterine contractions. So if you're not pregnant or planning on becoming pregnant, clary sage is amazing. Now, this again is more for the topical and internal use. But again, if you're pregnant or trying to become pregnant, I don't even know that I would have clary sage in the air because of the molecules. So, any plant is safe, any oil I would say is generically safe. But again, research and knowledge of, how your body reacts, or if there's certain things you should avoid, that is going into it as well. There's a lot of places to get information, and which is why, again, just going into the store and getting an oil off the shelf, it's probably safe, but you need to do your research. Just like, not everybody could handle a Tylenol or an aspirin. You need to do the same thing. You need to have the same respect for essential oils because they are gifts of the earth. They are amazing products with amazing benefits, and that's just something, as well. And now, I speak to Doterra because that's what I personally use. They have a blend called Claricom, which is great to use during PMS, because again, it can be used for PMS and for perimenopause and menopause, because it's got oils in there that help your body kind of balance itself out. And, that is really great. I'm going to go into another oil called grapefruit that actually is, it helps prevent cortisol from blocking the production of progesterone. So grapefruit is a really great oil to have because cortisol comes from too much stress, which, leads to, the belly fat that everyone talks about. And, grapefruit helps like kind of detox gently your body as well. So having on your desk grapefruit oil to put a drop in like your bottle of water is amazing. Or dry brushing is really popular now. And if you were to put some grapefruit oil on as you're dry brushing before you hop into the shower, especially in the morning, the grapefruit is going to wake you up and you'll have done a gentle detox of your body, through the gentle brushing.
That's nice. That's the Slim and Sassy that doTERRA has. I've tried that one. It's pretty good, actually. Yeah.
Yeah. So Slim and Sassy, and it's got grapefruit and lemon and cinnamon in, because cinnamon actually helps fight, or helps, I'll say, support like sugar cravings and how your system metabolizes sugar, which Slim and Sassy has in it already. And now they've got a Slim and Sassy gum, which, is great if you're on the go and you're starting to crave something, or your sugar, you can start to feel, pop it in your mouth, and that can help as well.
Very neat. So getting back a little bit to the lavender oil, because there was a concern about a study that came out last year from the Endocrine Society, and saying that there's a link between abnormal breast growth in young boys called prepubertal gynecomastia and the regular exposure to lavender or tea tree oil. So because they actually they found they were endocrine disruptors, and there are some kind of key chemicals in those oils that they found that could cause that. And so people were a little bit, wary about using lavender after that study came out. And it looks like they tested several different types of oils, but they didn't name the ones that they tested. So has Doterra said anything about them having any like estrogen-like properties or that sort of thing?
That actually was discussed, and I was fortunate enough to go to convention in Utah in September, and that was actually one thing that they brought up, as well as another concern about with using them with animals, which then comes back to the less is more. And Doterra has said that there is no need to be concerned, but then again, when I say that, I trust that they say, and I wouldn't hesitate, but I'm also very much a skeptic. And I would tell a mother with a young son, while there's been no shown relevance from their testing that this can happen, there are other oils you can use in place of lavender. So while I would recommend and tell you it's safe to use it, if you're not comfortable with it, let's find something else. Just like with my family, I have cats and dogs. I do use oils directly with them. I put it directly on them. There are ones to, again, be cautious of. And tea tree oil is one of those, because the way an animal system is set up, they're not able to expel melaleuca from their cells as easily. So the possibility of a toxic buildup in some dogs or cats would be possible, but you can find something else to use if you're trying to treat something naturally with your pet. Again, I will never say to someone, this is the only thing you can use, or if you've got concerns, even though research has shown, and I've, that it hasn't affected, or doTERRA oils haven't had that effect. If you're concerned, let's find something else. And that's really how I think is the best thing to, again, approach, because again, every body is different. When a plant blooms and it's harvested, if it's harvested in, July or April, there could be different rain, there could be different pollens, things can change, just like your body can change. And what your body needs can change. I am always, let's listen, let's research, let's look. And if there's any hesitation, let's find something else. There will be something else to try.
Right. And, and they did deem it as safe. Essential oils, the Endocrine Society said are safe, but use, certain ones with caution. And we like to put the lavender on a cotton ball instead of directly on the skin and, in our office anyway, because anything done too much, I think you have to be cautious about. And that's just with anything, I think, moderation.
Absolutely. Right? No. And then there's actually a woman in my office who's allergic to cinnamon. So when you go for allergy testing, I would never recommend a blend with, cinnamon or clove or any of those in that family. And there's like a big, like cyanella. It's a big scientific word for a family of that involves cinnamon. I researched it and I'm like, okay, we wouldn't use, cardamom, cinnamon, or clove with you because of the sensitivity your system has to this oil. So again, when I suggest an oil or I'm offering something to someone, I always ask, do you have any known allergies? Just like if you go to your doctor or they're prescribing a new medication, they ask, do you have any known allergies? It's not that it's buyer beware, but it's, again, oils are powerful and they are amazing. So is the pharmaceutical company. Their drugs are amazing. It's just, what do you choose to use and what do you choose to bring into your family? I've chosen to replace most of the pharmaceuticals with essential oils. But that's also, again, with the belief that I use as little as possible, less is more. And I like to vary it. And, I will kind of see with my daughter or myself, it's like, kind of, what are you craving? Some days I crave flowers, some days I crave mint. And I listen to kind of what my body, what it feels like it's wanting that day. Um, and again, it's just being smart, and again, cotton balls with lavender, not having it, put directly on your skin, using it once in a while. There's so many things that you can do and still get the benefits of these amazing natural gifts of the earth.
Right.
So,
And one thing about lavender, they did find that it lowered testosterone. So good for PCOS.
right,
And
exactly.
let's talk a little bit about the skin benefits. So, because sometimes, we do have topical oils, or we can ingest them, or you can use them in products like you were saying about the dry brushing with grapefruit oil, which I never thought about. That's pretty cool. Do you have something for acne? Would it be along the lines of like a rosemary or tea tree blend, or what would you recommend?
Exactly. That's immediately what comes to mind is the tea tree, the melaleuca, because it's got the antibacterial properties. And again, it's using it gently. Even something like a Roman chamomile, things that are going to be gentle to the skin. And I go to babies. So Roman chamomile and lavender are two of the oils heavily diluted that you could put in a roller ball and put on a child. So the delicacy, the sensitivity of like even Roman chamomile would be something that I would put on, for acne, because you're going to want to, clean it and help with the bacteria and just bring that to, your skin. There's also like blue tansy, which is kind of fun, and a new blend. It's a yarrow pomegranate that can go onto your skin. That is actually very nurturing. Blue tansy is kind of fun because it actually goes onto your skin blue. So you kind of look like a Smurf a little bit.
Oh, cool. Okay.
And that actually even has been written about in like Glamour magazine a few years ago, where some of the skincare products started to carry blue tansy because of the skin benefits. So again, there are different options available. Think of like the tea tree, it's one of the top 10. Lavender, again, one of the top 10, because, they have a lot of the properties and are very well and common known. And there's a blend that Doterra has called HD Clear that at the sign of like breakouts, it's in a roller ball, and you can just, apply it and, keep it. And it does help. It kind of reduces the inflammation in your skin, and it makes the blemish go away, and it leaves your skin, soft, and it smells good, and it's just nice to put on.
Okay, I'm going to put you on the spot here because these are really, really good suggestions. I think we need to create a freebie for this episode to link to that so that people can, actually download it, listeners, and can click on the ones that you're talking about, perhaps, and see where they can find them. So, would you be willing to give us a little, a little fun little freebie to put on our episode today?
I would love to have listeners try something. Trying to think what would be an easy way for them to try. This time of year, I'm thinking like the On Guard lozenges that I keep in my purse would be amazing for someone to be able to try, or like the On Guard toothpaste, which is really great and nice to use. So I think we could come up with something for people to try these products and see what they think. And,
cool. Okay. We're going to create a little, then a freebie in our show notes, and you'll see it as a link, as a free download. And we'll have the ones listed that we talked about today, at least, on there so that they can link to see where they can find them. And so I think as far as the acne recipes, I guess if you wanted to make your own, and funny story, I used to do this when I was, 12 years old. Actually, I would get some rosemary, boil it up, and put these tinctures in my refrigerator. And my mom would come home and go, "What the heck is in the refrigerator? What are you doing?" I'm like, well, I guess I was just an herbalist at an early age, but and it felt so cooling, like to actually apply that rosemary tincture to my face, at night before I went to sleep. But so I guess with essential oils, you're basically taking that plant and, distilling and putting it into oil form, and it's highly concentrated. So could you use that directly, I'm thinking, or do you think that that blend that doTERRA has is better?
You could, if you're a do-it-yourselfer, I'd say do your own blend. And like what you suggested, putting something in the refrigerator so it's cooling, to spray on your face or even like massage at night would be awesome. If you put a little rosemary and lavender, that would be calming and probably help you sleep and help your face at the same time. So if you're a busy, professional or mom, and, the thought of doing it yourself is just like, how am I going to find the time to do that? I would say use something that doTERRA has already made and proven that works. Again, every person is looking to do something different. And that's what's great is you can find what works for you. If it's something pre-made or something with a recipe that you make yourself. But either way, you're getting the benefits of the oils and natural and reducing your toxic load in the process.
Very cool. Awesome. So we've covered weight gain also with this lemon sassy or the grapefruit oil recipe that you're talking about. How many drops would you use of that in water, like throughout the day? If you had, like, let's say, a bottle of water.
So the thing to remember when you're ingesting essential oils is to only use glass or metal. Putting things in plastic, the oil can like degrade the plastic. Now, if you're using like the PET 1 or 2, it's probably fine. But my recommendation is always to use glass or metal just to be on the safe side. And so for myself, I have like a 20-ounce glass bottle on my desk. I start off in the morning like with 1 or 2 drops, and I don't always let the water go to the end, and I just kind of keep refreshing it until I don't taste it anymore. So you can really get by with, I don't know, probably less than 5 drops a day easily with your bottle of water. It's just, again, always remember to kind of swish your drink because the oil will rise to the top and you don't want to put that directly on. So just kind of swirl it and then drink. And it's really refreshing and really easy.
Very cool. And I want to talk about one of my favorite oils is geranium. And I like to use the geranium for PMS a lot. So have you found that helpful? Like just to, we apply it at certain acupressure points or just behind the ears or that sort of thing. But have you experimented a little bit with geranium, which I'm sure you have? And what have you found about that oil?
So for myself, I'm in like the perimenopausal stage, so I don't use geranium quite so much for the PMS anymore. But it does help regulate like the cycle, meaning it makes it relaxing. And when your body is there, and to me, it really smells good. Geranium can be a bit stronger smelling, so just keep that in mind. But geranium is, when you look up geranium, it's always about the women, and it's about helping things just happen easier and less stressful, and just helps really things flow really well.
Right. And I actually made, a little side note, I made some bath salts, Epsom salts with geranium, and I think and some lotions actually for my family for Christmas one year. And my mom still asks me, like, do you have any more of that? Like, she loved the geranium, and it's just it's like a feminine smell. I don't know what it is, but it's very nice. And
it is. And it's funny, when I wear geranium, my husband tends not to like it because he says it smells too strong. Whereas I could just sometimes put it on from head to toe and just feel absolutely radiant when I wear it. And again, because I think everyone is different, but I think it does really smell good, and it does make you think all things feminine, and it's a nice one to have in the house.
I was wondering when we were talking about different uses of oils. Something we haven't talked about a whole lot on this podcast is alopecia or hair loss. And so I wondered if you had any good like hair recipes before we wrap up today, because I think essential oils in the scalp are so nice, but do you have any that you would think that would be helpful for encouraging hair growth and that sort of thing?
There actually is a blend, and I'm not prepared to answer, but what I'm thinking comes to mind is actually rosemary.
That's what I was thinking too.
And I, like I said, you totally took me by surprise. So it's a completely ad-lib statement. And
I love putting you on the spot today.
Yeah, I was not prepared for that question.
Bonus.
But I really think rosemary massaged into your scalp is supposed to promote hair growth and thickening of hair. But we could also, once we talk and figure out a link or how to get people maybe a sample of lavender or something we talked about, I can also make sure to have researched and confirm what would help with thinning hair and just building hair. But like I said, on the spot, off the answer, I think rosemary.
I think so. And it's something about it stimulating circulation as well. And so I would love to research a little bit more about the hair oils. I know Josie, our massage therapist, she was telling me the other day what she uses after she gets out of the shower with her to keep her hair less frizzy. Because I walk into the office and they're like, "Whoa, frizz ball!" It's like just embrace the frizz sometimes. But so I think what she was saying was something about geranium and using that like after a shower, something that to kind of work it in the hair a little bit to kind of calm it down. But we need a whole like hair episode. That's what I'm.
There you go. Right. And I will be better prepared and have more information at hand than I do right now.
Well, I really appreciate the information, and I know that it's fun just to play around and see what you like, right? And experiment with the oils. That's the best part of it. And what would be a good starter kit if somebody was thinking about perhaps, I guess looking into essential oils a little bit more and for hormonal imbalances or cycle regulation and that sort of thing, what would be like your top 5?
So if you were going to get 5 oils for those for that topic, I would really recommend the geranium, grapefruit, lavender, the lang-lang, and if pregnancy is, or you're not there yet, I really do the clary sage. I really do like that. Now, again, if you're trying to become pregnant, I would forgo the clary sage, maybe for something more gentle, like a Roman chamomile or something like that. But and believe it or not, lemongrass is really great if you get like cramps really bad. Rubbing lemongrass over your abdomen makes the cramps go away.
Very cool. I just got that one in the other day, and I was like, I want to put it in my Mayan abdominal massage oil that we use in the office, and that. I just had this instinct, like, I want to use lemongrass.
Yeah.
I didn't know why.
Yeah, no, lemongrass is, believe it or not, is something if a woman comes to me with an issue, I'm like, lemongrass, put it in a little lotion and rub it across your abdomen and your cramps will go away. You won't need, the Midol, you won't need any ibuprofen. It will work. Trust me.
Awesome.
And yeah.
I'm going to try that. Yes. Very good. So definitely that's part of that top 5 then, because even if you don't have regular cramps, I think it has other benefits to it as well. I really like lemongrass. So.
Yeah. The emotional side of lemongrass is actually releases negativity. So I like to diffuse it if like something in the office or at the house is not going really well. Lemongrass goes in my diffuser. I'm like, okay, we got to get this, funky juju out of the house. So it's something good to have on hand.
Oh, no, so say you're in accounting, so this probably is a very stressful time of year for you. It could be potentially.
Right, exactly.
You're diffusing that stuff all night and day then. I get you.
Pretty much, exactly.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, LaNae. I really appreciate you taking time out of your busy day. And I think we're going to have fun with this, just playing around, trying to figure out what oils really attract you and look at, the list that we have on our show notes page. We're actually going to link to those oils that we talked about today, and so that you can get a chance to experience them for yourself. So
Great.
Okay.
Yeah, it was fun. And like I said, you have to curb my enthusiasm because I just love to talk about the natural options available to people. So
Well, we're going to probably have to do another episode about hair. That's what I'm saying.
sounds good.
All right. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And everybody listening, have a great week and have fun with this. We'll be back next week. All right. Take care, everybody. Thanks so much for listening and see you soon.